Well, hello everyone. Welcome today to Travel Nevada's first of their series of road trip webinars. I'm just going to give everyone a minute to join. And if you do have a headset today, it is the best way to hear us. If you can just make a quick comment or click the wave icon on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, maybe give us a shout out of where you're coming in from. Hi, Karen, nice to see you. Just want to make sure everyone can hear us all right and are prepared for today. All good. Thanks, Helen. All right, let's get started. We know it continues to be a somewhat challenging time for us across Australia and New Zealand, but there is indeed some light at the end of the tunnel, especially over in Oz. We've seen reopening plans with vaccination targets, Qantas bringing dates forward, and I know we're all excited to get on that USA road trip. On the New Zealand side, Air New Zealand brought out the rules for vaccinated travelers from February, which kind of gives us an inkling of some hope. And so let's bring that on. I know many of us are looking forward to getting back on those aircrafts stateside. Jennifer Diaz and her colleague Tracy are going to take on a series across the period of now and through Christmas of 5 road trip webinar programs and a final fun pre-Christmas trivia event virtually. And so we hope many of you can join us for the whole series. We'll do 2 in-depth road trips per webinar, taking us across the 10 Travel Nevada branded road trips that you're going to learn about. So in case I haven't met you, I've seen a lot of familiar faces. My name is Corey Marshall, and fortunate enough to be the director for Travel Nevada across Australia and New Zealand. And Jennifer is my colleague that is right now in Carson City, Nevada, and will be taking us through today's training. I'll get her to introduce herself in just a sec. A couple of housekeeping comments. If you have any questions as we go along, please go ahead and type them in the comment box. I'll get Jennifer to either answer them as she goes, or we'll address any that weren't at the end. Before we start today, and I officially hand you over to Jennifer, we do have a couple of introductory questions to get you to kind of feel how much you know about our Nevada road trips. And those are going to appear on your screens now. So if you've done a Canuck Kiwi webinar, you know that you just answer them straight on the screen. But the first question is, have you been to Las Vegas? Yes or no? And then, have you driven any of these iconic Nevada road trips? Now, today they're starting in Vegas, but they are across the state. If you're not familiar with some of the names, well, that's why you got to join the whole series. But this is a multi-select question. So each of the road trips that you have done, if you want to go ahead and click them, you can click as many as you've done. And then question 3 is very similar. It's a multi-select question as well. And it is, have you sold any of these iconic Nevada road trips to your clients? And because it's multi-select, we're going to give it just probably a minute here just to make sure we give you enough time to go ahead and answer those. We have about half of you that have completed so far. So yeah, just go ahead and select right on your screen. And oh, there is a 4th question. Are you planning on attending all 5 road trip webinars and final trivia event hosted by Travel Nevada? And that's a single choice, yes or no. We appreciate your support. It's great to see many of you going to stick with us for the series. All right, well, we're almost there. Thank you again for your support of Travel Nevada and Canuck Kiwi. And I'm going to now turn you over to a great friend. Her and I have actually fortunately traveled on some of these road trips together across the state, and there's no one better that can kind of take you through our first 2 road trips today. So Jennifer Diaz, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Thanks, Corey. So excited. I'm excited to continue the great news we keep having for international travel coming our way. Previously to us getting on the webinar, I was telling Corey how Australia is one of our top 5 markets. So we definitely want to keep investing, keep educating you, and keep supporting the market as much as we can, because we sure have missed you. So thanks for joining us today. And I hope that along the series you learn, it's a good refresher, and you learn new stuff, not just from Nevada, Vegas point right now, but just Nevada as a whole entirely. So with that said, let's get it going.
We'll start with a quick video.
Vegas is kind of smack dab in the middle of such beautiful nature, and it's such an awesome base camp to do like little day trips out here and there, but still having like a nice place to come back to. You can go like explore ghost towns, you can go like off-roading, so there are huge contrasts from nature to city. This road trip was the best of both worlds because I got to see new things in the city and outside of the city.
Sorry guys, I'm mute for a minute here. So as Corey mentioned, I am the marketing manager for Travel Nevada. Travel Nevada is in charge of promoting tourism for Las Vegas, for Reno Tahoe, but also making sure everyone else knows everything there is to do within the state of Nevada. We are a mountainous state. We have a lot of nature, a lot to explore. So that's where we're going to dive in and teach you some of those fun facts that not a lot of people know about, because everyone's so focused in Vegas. And Vegas is fabulous, but we want you to get out and explore more. So we like to say Nevada is the road trip capital of the U.S. We are centrally located, so we're close to California, Utah, Arizona, Idaho, and Oregon. So we're like smack in the middle of the West Coast, right? So within the state of Nevada, as you're seeing, if you're planning to see all the other states, you can easily add a road trip, a theme road trip that we have created. Or if you want to, you can just take on a challenge of exploring all 10 road trips that Nevada itself has to offer. I personally suggest you take on the challenge of exploring all 10 road trips and then later go see the other states. But as I said, Nevada is a state of contrast. Las Vegas is beautiful, but there's lots of oddball attractions that you can be exploring. Just for Vegas itself, over the last year, there has been new properties added. The newest property that was built just during COVID, COVID helped the property be built from the ground up, was in downtown Las Vegas, and it was Circa. It's a new downtown Las Vegas has not had a new property in many years. So COVID helped the process of speeding that process, and now Circa Las Vegas is open. They are brand new in the middle of downtown Fremont Street. Definitely recommend to check out that property when you're gonna be coming up here. And with that said, I'm not gonna focus on a lot of the Vegas stuff because I want you to go explore the outdoors. So the Neon to Nature is gonna be within the Strip experience, and you'll be surprised how close it is. From Las Vegas to Lake Mead, you're only looking at a 41-minute drive. Lake Mead is the largest man-made reservoir in the United States. It's 110 miles long, and it borders Arizona. It's a beautiful lake in the desert. I definitely recommend you go out. There's you can take a boat ride, you can go for a swim, hike around. The reason for why the lake was even made is because of the Hoover Dam. The Hoover Dam helped the lake be formed. So with that, after you explore Lake Mead, get your suntan going, you can head to the Hoover Dam, which is an iconic architecture for not just Nevada itself, but just overall in the world. Like the fact that this was built back in 1928, it gives you a good example of how architecture was evolving then. And now they're back to open for tours, and they'll continue being open. It's only a 60-minute drive from Lake Mead, like I said. And it's just a massive architecture building that you can see the water. You can go take tours of boat tours underneath where you're seeing the water right here. Then you can also, if you visit our website, you can learn about some of the hot springs that are within the closed area. You saw one of the hot springs in the video that was shown earlier. So I definitely recommend you check out Hoover Dam. And then after you spend the day in Hoover Dam and you've gone to Lake Mead, you're probably going to get a little hungry. So I think you should head down to Boulder City, which is 14-minute drive from your Hoover Dam. Boulder City was the home where the builders that built Hoover Dam were living in. So that's how the city started itself. It's actually one of the only cities in Nevada that there's no gambling. So it's just more about a hospital, little town, little city town, that was built in 1933. They are just charm little stores. There is the Boulder City, the Boulder Dam Hotel, which is very historic, and then above it is the museum, the Boulder City Dam Museum, where it tells you the whole history of building the Hoover Dam. It's great knowledge about it, and then it also walks you through the Great Depression and the stock market crash. So I definitely think you should go to the Boulder City itself, but also visit the museum, and it just evolves your knowledge of what just this one project and how the city was built around it. And then the Nevada State Railroad Museum is just around the corner from it too, and you can see some restored locomotives. You can also take a ride in one of the trains. It's it's just your nice town, little small town feel, charming little town that you can add to your experience. And then Lake Mead to Valley of Fire. So you could go the route of Lake Mead, Hoover Dam, Boulder City. That could be one day trip. Or you can go the other route, which is Lake Mead, Valley of Fire State Park. Valley of Fire is the oldest state park in Nevada. It traces back to when dinosaurs were here on Earth, so that's pretty cool to learn about. This photo that you're seeing here, it's not Photoshop. Everything, that's how the park looks. To me, it should be a national park. It's beautiful. 23-minute drive. So again, a little bit of opposite direction, but you can pick and choose, or you can just go another day from the Strip to Valley of Fire. That's about an hour, 10-minute drive. And after Valley of Fire, you can go see the Lost City Museum. It's a beautiful museum of called Lost City because it's back when the cavemen were around, and this city was buried, and it was found, and now you can explore and see how people used to live back in the caveman world era, and all of the native work that was done as well. And close to that Lost City Museum is Mesquite, a small, charming town known for golf. There's beautiful golfing courts out in Mesquite. 47-minute drive from Lost City. And there's great food restaurants there. The Virgin River Cafe. Catherine's has a steakhouse option. There's lots of good food in Mesquite. Farm to table style food. So that would be a recommendation, a stop there that I would recommend for lunch. And then from the Las Vegas Strip, you can do another day out to Red Rock Canyon. Red Rock is a national conservation area located only 17 miles, which would be 53.4 kilometers for you guys, 34 minutes away. Outside of the Las Vegas Strip, again, an easy day trip. It's great for hiking, great for seeing bighorn sheep. Bighorn sheep is our state animal, that we have adopted. So you can see it pretty much everywhere. We also have desert turtles that are hanging out in there. So lots of nature that you can see at Red Rock Canyon. And it's crazy because it's only 34 minutes from the Strip. So you wouldn't imagine that could be found so easily. And then literally right next to the Red Rock Canyon is Spring Mountain Ranch. It's a beautiful ranch that gives you the whole big picture of the Red Rock right behind you. 13 minutes drive. So if you're going to go to Red Rock, might as well also go to Spring Mountain Ranch. Get to see the two The two parks are near each other, and they have a lot of activities through the weekends and events. So I definitely recommend that you check Spring Mountain Ranch State Park website, because they have free events too. They have yoga in the park. They'll have hikes with a park ranger, and all of this is free. So again, when you're giving out information to your clients or planning your own self trip that you're going to take, definitely check out that stuff, because free stuff doesn't come along. Free stuff, fun stuff doesn't come along so easily nowadays. And then, oh, sorry, should have said that's a picture of a fam that we were able to take right in December or so, before everything shut down. That was the last fam that we were able to do. In the back here, it's the park ranger that was giving us a tour. So good memory. And from Spring Mountain Ranch, you can go to the Pioneer Saloon, which is 50-minute drive, so about an hour. And I would recommend you go here for lunch. They have really good food. Again, back to the Wild Wild West kind of touch of that Nevada has to offer. You'll see bikers there. It's many shows have been filmed at this bar. Congenital. I'm sorry. Corey, help me here with the name of the movie. Okay, I'll think about it in a minute. But anyways, lots of movies have been filmed here. And they also do stargazing night tours. So if you are into stargazing, you could take the Spring Mountain Ranch is also about an hour, closer to an hour, hour and 15 minutes from the Strip if you want to go do a stargazing tour at night. They do really good stargazing tours. And from the Pioneer Saloon, going back to the Strip, you would be making a stop at Seven Magic Mountains, 15 minutes away from it. It's bigger than life-size sculptures of live rock, brightly rocks painted, and in the middle of the desert. The pictures that you can get here, and you can see on your Instagram pages, they look amazing. And the whole concept of it was, how art kind of, not art, but paint, after being out in the sun, just deteriorates and gets this color. So it was kind of like a test to see how long this type of art, the artist, what is his name again? Gene, how his mixture of art that he put together, how long it would last, and it lasted the 2 years that he expected. And then they went and repainted it again, and then kind of just has stayed with us. So again, it's a great for pictures, great little stop along the way. No charge to it either. It's just get out of your car and take some photos and get to see all the people that at the stop there. You get to meet a bunch of interesting characters as well, because there's people with a wedding out there. There was an Elvis the other day. It's fun. And again, for more information, sample itineraries, get more details, you can always visit travelnevada.com and click on Neon to Nature, and that will give you a full article of each of those recommended stops that I just mentioned. And if you want to continue with the nature theme, and I would suggest going to Death Valley, doing the Death Valley Rally, which is a fun trip that will take you to Death Valley National Park. Many operators built the park with California, because yes, California has a lot of the park itself, but you can actually build it from the Nevada side as well, and from Vegas. So the way we recommend it is that you go from the Las Vegas Strip to Rhyolite. Rhyolite is a small ghost town, an hour, almost 2-hour drive from the Las Vegas Strip, and is the most photographed ghost town there is in all of the Western United States. And life-size art sculptures. That's me right there with, I don't know what they are, but they were fun little guys that got put out there. a lot of the art that we get is from Burning Man, and later in the series we'll touch base on Burning Man, Burning Man Byway. But Burning Man Festival happens here in the state of Nevada, Northern Nevada side, and so a lot of the art that we have collected, it's from festivals, Burning Man festivals. So we have a lot of connections with artists, and they donate their art to us, many of them, and we strategically have placed them throughout the state. And again, that's what you'll be learning here. So this is a replication of the Last Supper. I know that one for sure. This one, I can't tell you what he was trying to say or do, but it was fun. They were fun little guys. And from Rhyolite, you can go to Beatty. Beatty is your small little charming city, the gateway to Death Valley, very close. So most people think, okay, let's stay at Death Valley National Park. We want to stay the night there, which you can. Or you could go stay in Beatty, have a small town charm type of night out, and you're probably going to pay half the cost than staying at the national park, because there's always extra fees. So I recommend you stay in Beatty, and you get to go have a drink with someone like John here, who that's how he normally dresses. He is always in that cowboy gear. And in Beatty, you're also most likely, along your drive there, you're most likely to see a burro or two on your drive. You're actually going to see you're going to see herds of burros in the little town of Beatty. It's pretty fun, and you'll have to slow down. But they'll walk. Once you see they're used to the cars coming by. So once you see the car, they'll go on their merry way. And so from Beatty to the valley, it's only a 50-minute drive. So that's why they call themselves the gateway to Death Valley, because it's that close. Death Valley National Park is one of the hottest, driest, and lowest places in North America. It is at 279 feet below sea level. And I recommend you first stop at Furnace Creek, and then pick up a map, get to know the stops that you might want to do. This is, again, the last family we got to take out in the state. We got to take them to Death Valley National Park. So that was them going to go to Badwater Basin. And this is just a photo of one of our staff members here and their family at Zabriskie Point, which is a beautiful view of the landscape that Death Valley has to offer. And as you continue through the park, oh wait, I think we added this one on accident here. Sorry. Zabriskie Point is your last stop that we recommend. So you can go to Badwater Basin, you can go to Painter's Palette, and then Zabriskie Point. And after you end in Zabriskie Point, you can head down to Pahrump, which is another place where we would recommend that you stay the night. Pahrump is famous for wineries. I don't know how many people thought you could make wine in the desert, so desert wine. It's not Napa Valley desert, but it has its own nice taste to it. And Pahrump offers great wineries, Sanders Winery, Pahrump Valley Winery. There's also some distilleries that have popped up during COVID. Some distilleries that are opening up, making gin and rum, and some vodka. So I would recommend to do Pahrump as one of your nightcap little spots, and most likely stay the night. You could go back to Vegas, but after taking some tours of those wineries, and the tours are free too, I don't recommend that you go driving to Vegas. I would recommend you stay the night, have a nice dinner, relaxing, and then continue back to Vegas. And with that said, do we have a video loaded for Death Valley?
We will. We'll hi, Jennifer, I'm back as well. Thanks for that. We will play that right at the end of today's webinar to leave them with a little bit of inspiration. Thank you for taking us through those two webinars. My last trip to Nevada was in November of 2019. just before COVID. And I was fortunate enough to travel on both of those trips, and yeah, some real highlights that, brought back some memories. I think for those that were watching, both Neon to Nature and Death Valley Rally are relatively close in proximity to Vegas, as you would have seen by the awesome kind of distances Jennifer had on her slides. And there's lots of different ways you can do them, but she definitely provided the best way. And of course, our team is available, and I'm available to help you with any sort of itineraries or hotel requirements in any of those places that Jennifer mentioned. I did have a wine tour in Pahrump, and I did stay in Pahrump after my wine tour and a great meal with lots of friends. But yeah, so thank you, Jennifer, for that. And thank you for everyone who attended. Now, one question has come through.
The movie's called Miss Congeniality. That was filmed at the Pioneer Saloon. Oh my God, my brain's
I did cover you. I covered you off. I put it in the chat box.
Yes.
But there is one question there that I'd like you to address, because it is about Death Valley, before we get into the questions for our guests. Is Death Valley a year-round destination, or is there a time of year you should avoid due to the heat?
Good question. I've totally skipped that, my presentation. Yes, I mean, it is a year-round destination. It just depends on what you like, right? So summertime, starting June through September, you're gonna be, it's hot. It's called Death Valley for a reason, because it's really hot. I don't know what it would be in Celsius. I'm not good at converting, but 100 when I was there in September, not with this fam that I had a picture for, but before, it said 117 degrees Fahrenheit. So
well over 40 Celsius.
Yes.
Hot.
It was so hot. For me, it was not enjoyable. But if you're asking the German market, which I know you don't deal with, but just an example, they find it a challenge to go when it's the hottest that it is. They find it like that being a challenge, and they want to go and see the park during that time. Personally, I prefer springtime. So February through May, that would be nice weather to enjoy in Death Valley, or fall time, which is right now, it's starting in October through December. It gets, December, January, it's a little bit nippy of cold, because the desert can get cold, but I prefer the cold over the heat.
Yeah, I think it's about being prepared too. Having had friends that have done it in the summer, they just need to make sure they're prepared with the rental car and engine coolant and stuff. Just, yeah, so it is open year round, but subject to heat in the summer.
Yes.
47
really
degrees. Thanks, Kathy. Awesome.
You can cook an egg. I think it was Christian that said he went out there personally, and he saw someone out there trying to cook an egg in the asphalt of the road.
Good for the gram. So speaking of the gram, Jennifer, some of my favorite parts of Nevada are how great they perform on my Instagram feed. And one of those is Rhyolite. You're going to hear about others across our art highways, and of course, because of Burning Man. But there is exceptional art across the state, and it starts kind of with Rhyolite, as Jennifer already talked about. We have some questions for everyone who's attended, and you need to answer these questions correctly to be in for our prize draw for today, which is Travel Nevada swag that will be sent straight to your house and your home door. So we'll get in touch with the winner tomorrow. But go ahead and answer these right on the screen, and Jennifer and I'll alternate reading them out. So you'll see they come from our road trips. Now, Neon to Nature, this town was home to the workers who built Hoover Dam, Caliente, Boulder City, and Reno. That's question one. Question two, Jennifer?
Yes. Question two is, this is Nevada's oldest and largest state park.
So Sand Harbor, Cathedral Gorge, or Valley of Fire? Question three, just a little bit, keep scrolling down if you haven't got there yet. Neon to Nature, this is the newest property to be built in downtown Las Vegas. The Plaza Hotel and Casino, Circa Las Vegas, El Cortez Hotel and Casino. And I did put the link into the chat box of this property, if you did see that as we went along. So
You're giving the answers away already.
I know.
So that's Neon to Nature. So now we're moving on to Death Valley Rally. this is one of the West's best preserved and often photographed ghost towns in the West. Again, gotta keep it in the West Coast, right? So Manhattan, Belmont, or Rhyolite.
And question number 5, Death Valley Rally. On this road trip, it's likely you'll see what kind of wildlife? Dolphins, burros, and kangaroo.
And last question, how far below sea level is Death Valley? 12 feet, 110 feet, or 279 feet?
So in metric, 3.6 meters, 33.5 meters, or 85 meters.
I swear I tried. I even caught myself in the presentation where I put miles in there. I thought I had gotten it all.
Well. All right, well, it looks like most of you are answering. We're going to give a few more minutes. If anyone has any final questions for Yennefer, just go ahead and type those into the chat message system. As a quick reminder, our next road trip series with Yennefer and Tracy, her colleague, will be on October the 19th, and we're going to focus on the Free Range Art Highway and the Extraterrestrial Highway. You might have seen some media coverage of the ET Highway and all that's been happening alien across the world. But my favorite highway, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but one of my favorite highways is the Free Range Art Highway. And I can't wait to talk about all things crazy and international car foresty and others. So that will be on October 19th at exactly the same time. So Talk It Tuesdays, Road Trips Nevada, we're going to run them bi-weekly through till Christmas. All right, looks like we have most of the answer in. Joe likes the Free Range Art Highway as well. Thanks, Joe. Glad we're on the same page. I think we did it together once. Cool. Well, before we leave, thank you, Yennefer, again for doing a great job taking us through the first two. We'll look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks' time, but we will leave everyone with a little bit more of inspiration on Nevada and a little bit of a highlight reel from the Death Valley Rally. Enjoy.
Just go. Just